Riley County officials issued a disaster emergency declaration late in the day Monday after the county's P25 Public Safety Agency radio communication system lost connection as a result of a cybersecurity incident that developed earlier in the day. Emergency responders in Riley County are currently using the backup state system for emergency communications. P25 is a solution for intra-agency communication, which allows for interoperable multi-agency communications during an emergency, according to a release from the county. Officials say the issue is affecting all first responders, including police, fire, and emergency medical services, but does not impact the public or 911 systems. Dispatchers are still able to receive calls, dispatch resources, and communicate with emergency personnel and activate outdoor warning sirens. The disaster declaration allows the county to request additional communications transmission resources from the state. County officials say no personal, financial, or other information is associated with this incident, which is currently part of an active ongoing investigation. Violent crimes were down in Riley County in 2023, a fact Patrol Captain Greg Steer attributed yesterday to officers working to identify repeat offenders.
They're really, really good at identifying repeat offenders and working very hard to address them. And when they do that, they're doing it in conjunction with detectives, investigations, and neighboring counties.
Steer shared 2023 crime and incident data with the county commission yesterday, which did not include crimes that occurred in Manhattan. Both violent and property crimes decreased last year when compared to 5-year averages.
There's only 2 Part 1 violent crimes and then 32 property crimes, which is both of those are significantly lower. So we're very happy about that as far as crimes in the county.
The 5-year average for injury crashes in the county increased 7% last year, though the county saw just 29 total crashes last year, which was a 60% drop from the year prior, with most of those occurring south of the 4-mile corner east of Riley. The top location for crashes continues to be around US 24 and K13, where KDOT plans to begin a new roundabout project next year. The Manhattan City Commission could take its first steps tonight in an initiative to boost low and moderate income housing in the area. The city recently changed its policy on using industrial revenue bonds with the goal of creating more workforce housing. Commissioners will consider 3 requests tonight by developers for sales tax exemption and other incentives. All 3 cases involve developers applying for state low-income housing tax credits, including asking for city support, which would boost the chance for approval from the state. The projects are for Sunflower Flats, a senior housing project planned at 5th and Pierre, Cypress Ridge in the Highland subdivision of Grand Mere, and Hunter Drive Apartments in Scenic Woods. All told, the amount of IRBs being sought for those 3 projects totals over $29 million. In other business, the City Commission tonight will consider whether to rezone a 13.5-acre tract of land in order to build a new Riley County EMS facility on Charles Little Road near Claflin. The City Commission meets at 6 tonight at City Hall. City crews have been out hauling off debris for residents free of charge as part of Manhattan's annual spring cleanup, which started yesterday. Parks Superintendent Casey Smithson says a lot of work goes into this week, primarily from Public Works crews, with the Parks Department also supplementing staff to support the haul-off efforts.
Typically once a year we do that for no charge to city residents, and obviously we move per day through the entire city. Try to get it out there first thing in the morning or night before so it's already ready and we'll haul it off.
Residents are advised to have their items on the curb and ready for pickup by 7 o'clock in the morning on their scheduled pickup day. Crews will be working in the northwest quadrant of Manhattan today, which includes neighborhoods primarily north of Anderson Avenue and west of Seth Child Road. Flint Hills Christian School hosted a tour for Senator Jerry Moran Monday. It was Moran's first visit to the school since it underwent expansion in 2022. Moran says he tours about 30 schools each year to get a better sense of how they're operating and says he was impressed by what he saw yesterday.
It was just great to see students who seemed eager to learn, teachers who seemed excited and pleased to be teaching, and a sense that there's an understanding of morals and right from wrong, both in the teachers and in the students, and the politeness and respect that was shown to me by both teachers and students. So it was a good experience.
Head of the school, Matt Zimmerman, took Moran to every classroom in the building and says it was exciting to showcase their growing campus, which now has about 220 students in kindergarten through 8th grade. After the tour, Zimmerman spoke about school choice legislation they are currently tracking in the state legislature.
So it stalled out last year, passed out of committee, passed both the House and the Senate, and then it got line item vetoed by the governor last year. And so now it's gone back into committee. And it's looking more like an education savings account, so a little bit more promising as far as being able to get that passed.
Senate Bill 509 would allow taxpayers with children enrolled in private schools to receive a refundable tax credit as long as those children are also eligible to enroll in a public school. Critics say the measure is essentially a voucher program that would harm public schools. The Republican-controlled legislature has revived a proposal to stop giving voters 3 extra days after the polls close to return mail ballots. GOP backers have made key concessions to get enough votes from rural Republicans to overcome Governor Laura Kelly's potential veto. Both chambers are expecting to take final votes this week on a version of the proposal drafted Monday by GOP negotiators for the House and Senate. A key change would wait until the start of 2025 to drop the so-called grace period. Republicans argue that counting ballots received after Election Day undermines people's confidence in the vote. Democrats see no need for a change.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines. After being a spectator a year ago, Paige Beckers is headed back to the Final Four after scoring 28 points and lifting UConn to an 80-73 win over Southern California in the NCAA tournament last night. UConn will be participating in its 23rd Final Four, the most of any school. Caitlin Clark made 9 3-pointers and finished with 41 points and 12 assists. Iowa knocked defending national champion LSU out of the tournament with a 94-87 win Monday night.
You know, at the end of the day, you win, you lose. I feel like our group has given so much to this game and to this program that you can always hold your head high. But I think at the same time, that's the reason we have been able to play such good basketball is we don't want this to end and we want to keep coming back and working hard with each other.
Clark took over in the third quarter, hitting 4 3-pointers that propelled her teammates and coach Lisa Bluter into the Final Four for a second straight year. Jordan Westberg hit a tie-breaking 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. The Orioles bested the Royals 6-4 last night.
It's exciting to get back and tie it off. Kimberly's one of the best closers in recent history. And obviously to lose in that fashion is heartbreaking. But like we've said, that's a good team. That's a good lineup up and down, and they beat us.
Bobby Witt Jr. and Salvador Perez each homered for the Royals, the second game consecutive in which each went deep. The same two teams set to match up tonight in Baltimore with coverage on News Radio KMAN to get underway at 5. Have a wonderful day. I'm Troy Coverdale.